Senator Manchin liked to say he got a deal, and that's why he supported the erroneously named Inflation Reduction Act, which was more money into the Green New Deal, didn't do anything to reduce inflation. Indeed, it just ran it up. Now, there were two different permitting proposals that were out there. One was Senator Capito's, which was true permitting reform, and Senator Manchin's, which really kind of made things worse. Here are some of the things that it would do. There were 3 programs that really would have made things worse. Now, your viewers and those that are with AFP probably know that eminent domain becomes an issue when governments try to go in and then exercise that eminent domain on private property. Indeed, we've seen some pretty testy court cases on this issue. Well, it would authorize private companies to exercise that eminent domain. And this is something that, in my opinion, would have devalued the private property rights of individuals, their ability to negotiate out a settlement or a sale if someone was looking at their property for expansion. Second, we've all heard of FERC, and that is one of these agencies that deals with utilities, and sometimes they're as difficult as other federal agencies that are there. And it would authorize FERC to command utilities to construct entirely new transmission facilities whenever and wherever FERC deemed necessary. Now, here is the issue with that. As you see this Green New Deal push, this push that they're trying to facilitate to move toward more electric power generation and thereby more distribution. And let's say you're an electric power co-op. If FERC came in and told you, you've got to build new transmission facilities so you can carry more load because we need to put in electric vehicle charging stations, then they would be commanded to do that. Mm-hmm. And that may not be what the members of that co-op would vote for or what they would want to do. Or maybe it is something that they say, we have more gas-powered or hybrid vehicles. We don't need all of these heavier transmission lines to carry this load. So you want to leave that authority with the generators and with the owners of utilities. Many of them are owned by cities and by communities. So this would take that authority away from them. And third, it would authorize companies to spread cost of constructing new transmission facilities onto residents of other states, requiring citizens of one state to subsidize the agenda of politicians and bureaucrats in other states. So let's say that you live in a state like Tennessee, where your electric power costs are manageable. But let's say that there is a state around you that decides they're going to go all in on the Green New Deal. They're going to accept this command from FERC to build all of these new facilities, and they get part of their power from your state. Well, all of a sudden, you find yourself having to see an increase in your bills because you're having to pay for the construction costs that are actually serving neighbors, friends, and relatives that live in a different state. So these are things that it would do. And instead of fixing the problem of it makes no change to NEPA. Now, these are your environmental regulations. And we've all heard the problems that center around what happens with these environmental regulations. It makes it very difficult. This is one of the main reasons, environmental regulations, that you have not seen new oil refineries built. It is the reason that pipelines have problems when it comes to construction. And of course, Senator Manchin thought he was getting a carve out so that a pipeline in West Virginia could be completed. But we know that that has kind of backfired on him. What you do not want to do is give federal environmental regulators at the EPA more power to go in and shut down some of these energy construction projects. What we need to do is make certain that states, not the federal government, but states hold this authority. That is why Senator Capito's approach to this was a much preferred approach than Senator Manchin's.